He is the one.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome along to the wilds of Suffolk. I'm out here yet again doing what I do, walking along at beautiful locations, and yet it is gorgeous yet again. Blue sky, perfect. I'm giving you my thoughts and opinions on things that are happening in the world and the public consciousness. So if it's your first time here, welcome. This is what I do. I hope you enjoy. If you're a returning subscriber, or 1,328 of you today, welcome back. Thank you one and all for joining me for the walk. It's a real honor for me to have so many people join me, and I hope you enjoy what I'm doing. So today I've entitled this video, Pain is Good. Had to get the question mark at the end. Pain is Good. It's a bit of a strange title, I know, but hopefully as I go through this beautiful place I'm walking today, lovely forest near my house in the sunshine. It's a little bit cool here. There's your weather report for the UK today. A little bit cool, but sunshine, beautiful. Beautiful here, as opposed to some places in the world where it's horrible. Today, here in the UK is lovely. So let's get on with the video. You haven't come here for a weather report, I'm sure. So, pain is good, really? How can I possibly infer that pain is good? Now, if you've been with me on this journey for any period of time, a few weeks ago I did a video where I spoke about my work, and that there was something going on, and it was an issue, and so I'm going to sort of use that as a stepping stone or a platform to explain why I'm doing the talk that I am today. And I'm not going to dwell on the fact, the whole work thing, but it's part of the story, and the reason I'm doing this video today is for something else. But we'll get to it as we go through. So a few weeks ago, I had an issue with my workplace, where I was suspended from my workplace for reasons that I still don't fully understand. It's ridiculous. I'm opinionated, sure, but I'm good at my job. I'm very good at my job. And it didn't make any sense to me when it happened. It still doesn't. It really doesn't. So since then, just to give you an update on what's happened, I have since left that position as amicably as I could. There's no point fighting against something like that. If they don't want you there, they don't want you there. There's no point fighting it. I could, but what's the point? If someone doesn't want you there, there's no point fighting against it. So we parted ways. I went my separate way. But at the time, I was really hurt by this. It really, after I work very hard, I work long hours, I do a good job. This is the reason why it was so hurtful to me, because I didn't understand, after all the effort I put in to build the business, record sales in the last year, didn't make any sense to me that they would treat me the way that they did. So I was really hurt by it. It's probably the best way I can describe it. I was hurt by it. So, and I'm sure that you've all been in situations where maybe it's not a work situation, maybe it's someone that you put trust in, they betrayed that trust, or whatever it was that put you in a position where you were hurt by a situation where it was out of the blue, completely out of the blue, and it happened. Now, I come out here and I do these talks, okay? And, I talk about things like, things happen for a reason, and we have to go through these kind of things. And, that's part of the reason why I wanted to come and do this talk today, because I come out here and I do these talks, but I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't live by my own words. And like I say, I've messed up more times than I've got right in this life. I've done so many things wrong. Look, I don't go out of my way to hurt people. Sometimes people get hurt with some of the things that I do or say or whatever, but it's not deliberate. I'm not deliberately trying to hurt people with my actions, okay? And I want to live. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to say something and then live a different way, much like Bill Gates, where he's talking about climate change. And I posted a video on Telegram, if you follow me on Telegram, where the interviewer says to him, how can you be a climate change activist and still fly around on a private jet? And he's like, well, I'm rich, so fuck you. And I don't want to be like that, because it negates everything I say. Everything I do out here is to try and uplift people and show you a different way of looking at things. Sometimes you're going to agree. Sometimes you're not. I had a comment from someone called Donald Wan, whoever that is, today on a video I did last, Put the Glasses On video, where they disagreed with what I said. Cool, That's what I want. It's about having conversations, it's about starting conversations, it's about interacting with people, But the point being, when I come out and do these talks and I'm talking about, sometimes we have to go through some shit to be able to get out the other side, like I did in my last talk, that we have to go through turmoil in order for us to change. Much like in the day the Earth stood still, where the alien, who's played by Keanu Reeves in the movie, is talking to a professor. I think it's John Cleese. Maybe John Cleese. I think it is. And he says, explain to me why your planet shouldn't be destroyed. It's full of violence and blah, 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 and people don't want to take care of the world. And, obviously climate change references there. But, if there's nothing alternative to use for climate change, well, we're going off on a tangent. Let's stay back on target for just a second. We'll get off to the squirrels in a minute. But in the movie, he says, why should your planet not be destroyed if you don't care about it anyway? And the professor says to him, well, it's only at the brink, at the precipice, where people find the will to change, right? And much like the last talk I did, the cult, welcome to the cult, where the 17th letter of the alphabet said it's only at the precipice that people will change. There's only at the precipice that people will realise that we've been lied to for generations. This isn't new. This is old, where there's a lot of people focusing on, slavery, I'm black, and I'm reparations and slavery, and, we're all slaves. Every single one of us, we're slaves to the financial system, we're slaves to the machine. We are slaves to the matrix that we live in, okay? Oh, no, we're not, Chris. No, we're not. We're free. We're free to roam the world, okay? Roam the world without money. Do it. Live without money. Just go and do that. Go and live without money. Go and find a piece of land that you can live on for free. Okay? Grow your food. Everything you want to do with your life. Get around. Obviously, you won't be able to fly for free. Maybe walk everywhere. Yeah, walk over the oceans. Maybe you can find some other way to get someone to take you to a different country, maybe in a boat or something. You have to perform some favors for them. Who knows? Try and live for free, and then tell me you're not a slave. Now, when I'm talking about this, this thing I went through with my work, and it was hurtful, and it was, it really got me. It really did. For a couple of days afterwards, I was so angry. I spoke to solicitors. I spoke to everybody, about what's my course of action here. What can I do? But the further it went along, and the same day that this happened, I started making phone calls to people to say, if this doesn't work out, what's my options, work-wise. Then as I started to do that, and people contacted me and saying, we've got work, there's so much work that's available Everyone's short-staffed at the moment. Where have all the people gone? Where? I've been in this industry 35 years in cooking, and in 35 years, it's never easy to find good people who want to work, but now it's impossible. Everywhere you go is short-staffed. Everywhere you go is short-staffed, and there's no one available. No one available to come and work for a day or a week. Everywhere is short-staffed, and the industry is really feeling it. I have people tell me, it's because of Brexit, Chris. All the Europeans can't come here to work, Chris, because of Brexit. That's bullshit. Absolute, total, complete fucking horseshit. Horseshit. It's not the reason at all. I meet plenty of people from Europe and Eastern Europe, who are working here. I've never had a problem. It really isn't. It's just, I'm tired of the rhetoric and the bullshit that keeps on getting fed to us through politics and, the media. Now the media is pushing the narrative, Brexit was the worst mistake we could have made. Look at Europe. It's fucked. It's economically, it is ruined. I mean, the whole world is. But look, Europe, the European Union is destroying all the countries that are in it. Okay? But it's an alliance, Chris. We're all in it together. That's what the politicians tell us all the time. We're all in this together, except they're not, because they have different rules. Now, as I went through this process and I started to put myself out there and look around for what work was available to me, and just generally opening up my eyes up to opportunities to what was around. I've now, 2 weeks later, 2-3 weeks, I'm now have more work than I have hours in a day to do. I get paid more, and the people I work for appreciate what I do. What a change! What a change! What a change in circumstance to have. What I thought was appreciation for my work, where I worked before, to to be pushed out the door. Essentially, I wasn't, but that's essentially what happened. They didn't want me there, so there's no point staying there. To walk into other people's businesses and not only be welcomed, but to be loved on, even with my opinions the way that they are. It's like, this is the thing I don't understand. I really, this whole woke culture has penetrated so deeply into our culture. This woke idea, these woke mentalities of, we can't offend anybody, you can't say something that people don't like. This is all stemming from this. You came 9th in the running race, Johnny. Here's a medal. Like, why? Why are we congratulating people who haven't succeeded? Yes, but we have to build people up, we have to build people up even if they haven't put in enough work to succeed. I mean, the world is a competitive place, and it's difficult softening our younger generations to just accept mediocrity is not helping them, especially when they get out into the world and they need a cry closet every time somebody says, every time their boss says to them, no, you actually did that wrong today. Let me show you how to do it. How dare you talk to me like that? How dare you talk to me like that? I need to go and have a cry in a cry closet. Please. I heard a great video today. I shared it was on Facebook. I heard a great video today of a guy who was talking about Generation X. Generation X man, right, Robert? Robert over at the Generation X Men, Generation X Men channel. Great guys. Shameless plug. They're great guys. Love them to pieces. So if you have a chance, go and have a look. Generation X. This young kid was saying, Gen Xers you don't want to fuck with because they'll just tell you to fuck off. It's what we do. It's I don't have time for bullshit. I don't. I'm every one of us is struggling just to put food on the table, keep a roof over the head, pay the bills, and keep moving forward in this world. And I don't have time for for people who are going to abuse me or And look, I can handle criticism. I can handle criticism, but if you make it mean and nasty, I will tell you to your face to go fuck yourself. I will. I'm not just some guy that's on the internet being all tough, and I will tell you, if you want to be abusive to me, I'll tell you to fuck off. I don't care. I haven't got time for niceties now because we are in a battle. We're in a battle for our very existence. Okay? Now, the whole job thing has shown me that the process of change in our lives is difficult. It's painful. It is. It's painful to realize that things have to change, and your attitude and the way that you do things has to change. All of us. I'm not talking about just me. I'm talking about all of us. You know, we live in pain, and I'm going to go back to my favorite story. And this is the thing that made me go, "Oh, you're an idiot, Chris. You're an idiot. You keep telling this story, but you got to live it." And the story is the story of the lobster. And for all of you who've been here before and you've heard this 100 times, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it again because it is poignant and it's part of the whole reason I want to do this video today. Okay? Story of a lobster. Lobsters are unique creatures because from the moment they're born until the moment they die, they're growing, which presents a problem for the lobster because it has a hard exterior shell. Okay? An exoskeleton to be exact. And that presents a problem because as they grow and they grow into the shell, it becomes tight and becomes painful. And, you know, the lobster puts up with it because it's just like, well, you know, I mean, how much a lobster thinks, who knows? But, you know, they put up with it and they go through with their life, and it's just, you know, it's painful, but they can deal with it. And as time goes by and they keep on growing, it becomes more and more painful until the point comes where the lobster can't stand it anymore, goes and finds a rock, pulls the shell off, is exposed for a period of time, then grows a new shell and goes about its life. Right? And the moral of the story is nothing ever changes when you're comfortable. It takes pain, or reaching the precipice of that pain that you can't stand anymore, that gives you the will to change. Now, this event that happened with my work was a painful event, and it took me out of my comfort zone in that, you know, I could go to work and do the job all day and every day. You know, that's, you know, I work multiple hours. I can work 100-hour weeks for years, and I've done it for years. Because I have a goal, and I've, you know, when I got married and had children, well, I've been with my wife for 23 years now, but when I had children, it changed my priorities. When I was younger, I partied like an animal. I did. I lived like a rock star. It's, you know, like I say, I've made more mistakes in my life than I've got right. But it's those mistakes, those painful periods that I've gone through that have allowed me to see a different way of doing things, and to be able to adjust my viewpoint to take in the considerations of the things I see around me. Does that make sense? So, you know, as I've gotten older and I've gotten to live a bit more and experience things and, you know, pull my head out of my ass. My head's still firmly up my ass, don't get me wrong. It is. But it's allowed me to see things from a different perspective and to adjust my thinking and how I go about things. Now, I don't claim to have the answers. I don't. I'm just a guy who walks along in the forest with a selfie stick and a camera talking to myself. You know, essentially that's what I'm doing. Performing a soliloquy. I love that. I love that word. It's so beautiful. Performing a soliloquy out here by myself. And the reason I do it is because I don't hide my face. I am who I am. My name is Chris Large. It's Christian, by the way, just so anybody's wondering. That's who I am. I'm not hiding myself. I put these videos everywhere, including on my LinkedIn profile that everybody tells me, oh, you're insane to do that because it's a professional work website. Oh, people aren't going to take you seriously, Chris. You bring out these videos where you're saying you're in a cult and you want people to employ you. Like, hold on a minute. Like, isn't that discriminative to discriminate against me for my viewpoint? Isn't that what we're going through? Equity and equality right now? So if I'm going to be excluded from my viewpoint, isn't that inequality? Well, maybe it's because I'm white and I'm middle-aged, and we all know white middle-aged men are the worst. We're part of the patriarchy. We keep women down, and and mentioning that, I'm blessed and honoured that I think it's about 75% of my audience are women. So for all you ladies out there, thank you. I mean, it's and not young millennial girls, because they're definitely not lusting after me, I can tell you that. It's older ladies who are equally questioning the narrative that we're being fed. And I see it across every platform that it is the majority of women who are actually coming out and speaking out about what's going on in our world, about the way that they see things. And, as I do that, people are sometimes agreeing with what I say. I mean, not always, because, I'm a radical. I question everything. I question myself. I question the world. I dare to question reality. How dare I? But let's get back to the point. This whole point of pain is, and what we're going through, I think we can all agree, is painful. It's horrible to have criminals running the world, openly being criminal behaviour right in front of our faces. It's everywhere. It's blatant. It's right in front of your face. Boris Johnson, who was a former Prime Minister of this country, imposed lockdowns and all the measures that they did for this bullshit virus that came out of China, right? China? Was it China? This guy flouted all the rules in everybody's face. Parties at number 10, whoring everywhere. I mean, the guy's got like 7 kids or something from different women. I mean, he's a man whore, and abusing his power. And while all the rest of the country was locked down, the businesses were closed, people were out of work, they were struggling to pay the bills, put food on the table. Oh, but don't worry, we're going to give you a handout from the government. And then the taxes go up to pay for all those handouts, of course, because it's all good. But this Boris Johnson, he was doing all this and telling everyone, you can't do it. But now he's running around the world. He's been praised by Vladimir Zelensky, which tells you everything you need to know. But he's running around the world meeting all these world leaders on behalf of the UK after he was pushed out of his position for doing what he did. It's open criminality. But this is pain. This is, all the talks I do is all in a similar vein. I'm trying to explain things from a different angle so people who haven't come across information before that runs counter to their narrative, I'm trying to explain it in lots of different ways to say, we're going through some shit and it's only going to get worse. It will get worse until people stand up and say, no, fuck off, we're not doing it. We're not there yet. Because people go, everything's fine in my world, Chris. I'm just fine. I've got a job. I've got a brand new car. Yeah, okay. The price of eggs is a little bit high at the moment, but that'll calm down. Okay. What makes you think things are going to change? Oh, the economy will get better. When? How? How will the economy? Oh, because it's going to be built back better. From what money? From what money? Okay. Let's do a quick money talk for just a second because I don't want to dwell too much on money. Now, the government has money from where? The government only has money from taxes. Okay, they don't tax the corporations because they give corporations tax breaks because, well, they give people jobs, right? Even though all the big companies, Google, Amazon, Netflix, they're all laying off tens of thousands of people. Okay, so massive corporations laying off Zoom's laid off 15% of their workforce. Okay, so all these massive companies are laying off tens of thousands of people. They've got tax breaks anyway, but the people who work for them pay tax, right? Okay, now the government operates on tax revenue. Okay, so now more and more people are becoming unemployed. So what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to rely on the government to give them money for unemployment or for whatever money they need. Or, oh, we can help you with your energy bills, is what they say here in the UK. Our energy bill on a green tariff has gone up 400%. Why is a green tariff that relies on sunlight and wind gone up 400%? Is sunlight more expensive now? I mean, I know it's winter and everything, but that big ball of fire in the sky out in space, apparently, has the price of sunlight gone up? Maybe the wind is more expensive nowadays. I mean, as the price of baked beans has gone up, maybe it's more expensive to produce wind. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to understand myself. But if the government's giving people handouts, like we'll help you with your rent, we'll help you with your energy bills, we'll help you with this, more and more people are getting laid off, more and more businesses are closing because the economy can't handle what's going on with the increased prices. I mean, I work in the restaurant industry. You've seen the prices of food. So the prices of food is going up constantly because the price of oil's up, and that means the farmers have to charge more, blah, blah, blah. It's on and on and on and on and on, right? But the price of gas is an all-time low, natural gas, all-time low. But we're being charged all-time highs for it. BP made 100 billion profit or whatever it was last year. And the oil industry was given 40 billion pounds by our former, serving for, I think it was like 6 weeks or whatever it was, Liz Truss, a former Prime Minister of this country who took over from Boris Johnson after he was pushed out the door. She was pushed out the door because she was a useless fucking lunatic. And in comes this dickhead, Rishi Sunak, who hasn't got a fucking clue, who's a helmet, by the way, who was wearing a helmet with Vladimir Zelensky while he was in the UK, going out, we support Ukraine, we will give you more weapons to fight war, to kill more people. We need more money so we can launder through FTX to give back to politicians' campaigns to get elected, no? So if the government needs revenue coming in and businesses are closing because they can't afford to operate, restaurants, for instance, prices going up, how much can you put the prices on your menu up before people won't come there anymore? How long will the staff stay with you, working for you? Because you can only pay so much, because that has to be represented in the price of the food also. How long are your staff going to stay with you if you can't give them a pay rise? This is all about dependency on the government. When you're depending on the government for your very existence, to be able to live, to be able to heat your home, to be able to get fuel or whatever it is, then you're part of the system. You're a slave to the system. And what they're trying to do is destroy everything. You'll own nothing and be happy, remember. Once they can have everybody onto the slave plantation of relying on the government for everything, then click, that's when the central bank digital currency comes into play, which is programmable money that they can say, okay, you're not allowed to buy alcohol, you're not allowed to buy cigarettes or whatever it is. I don't drink and I don't smoke, so that doesn't directly affect me. I couldn't give a shit. But I haven't got any skin in that game whatsoever. But I still think it's wrong for anybody else to tell you what you can spend your money on, especially if you've gone out and earned it. Okay? But then they want to make sure that you don't go out and earn it, because you're going to be on slave land here, the government plantation. Now, the government is, I don't know whether you know, probably if you're here, then you probably do, that the governments of the world are corporations, okay? You and me, all of us, are chattel. We are tradable commodities for the government. That's what a GDP is. A GDP is a gross domestic product, which relies on your labour and my labour to produce products to be able to sell. That is your GDP. That's the country's GDP. It's completely tradable. It's traded every day in the stock market. You are a traded commodity. Now, if the government only has money coming in from tax revenues, then, and the taxes are going down, how can they possibly support all the people that are then turning to them for support as the economy and the financial system starts to crack and fall apart? Now, I'm not an economist. I'm not a financial advisor. I am just a guy who didn't finish high school, who walks through the forest, who gets told he's crazy every day. So take what I say with a grain of salt or a bucket of salt or an ocean full of salt, if that's what it takes. I don't care. Listen, don't listen. It's entirely up to you. Do whatever you want. But understand the bigger picture of what's going on here. If you haven't got tax revenues coming into the government, how can they give money out from the government? Oh, that's right, they're going to have to print it into existence through the central bank or the treasury, or however they're going to do it. And then in order to pay for that, okay, so in America at the moment, I'll have to be quick now because we're getting close to the 30 minutes. In America, they've got 34 trillion worth of debt. The IRS, which is the Internal Revenue Service, which is the tax department over there, has just hired, or they want to hire 87,000 new agents to go after people. Well, how are they going to pay those agents? See the bigger picture. See the bigger picture. Please look. But understand also that all the events that are taking place, and I do mean everything, the war, the slave-landia financial system collapse, the internet going out, the pressure on you every day, more and more. Every single thing that's happening in this reality, this matrix, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. Everything that is happening is designed to trigger you to wake up and go, fuck that. Fuck that. And the average person isn't there yet. The average person's still going along like, I'm going on holiday next week to a foreign country on a plane where I have to wear a mask and be jabbed. Okay, and then people are dropping dead everywhere from those things. Okay, oh, but that's not happening, Chris. It's just a coincidence that 20-year-olds are dying of heart attacks and young kids are dying of heart attacks and professional athletes are dying of heart attacks in the field. Doesn't mean anything. But it does. And every event that you're seeing taking place in the media, through all around you in the world, in the made-up matrix world that is fed to you through the social media and media every day, all of it is designed to piss you off. It is all there to trigger you to say, I'm not playing the game anymore. And when we get to that point where everybody sees it, it all falls apart, and hopefully these slave masters will face the justice that they deserve. But we all have to take part in that. Share information that helps people to see it for what it is, and then stand back and allow it to take place. But actively take part in this, because you have to stand against it and say, I do not comply with the bullshit. It's up to you, it's up to me, it's up to us all to stand in the face of this nonsense and say, fuck you. I'm not doing it, I'm not playing the game. So on that note, go out into the world, do good and be good. And we can change the world with the way that we think, the way that we talk, the way that we interact with the world. Thank you one and all for being here. It's an honor and a privilege for me to have somebody join me for these walks. And let's see what happens next. Look after yourself. Look after each other. I'll look forward to seeing you real soon. Ciao for now.